Hey guys, welcome back. Now, in my last video, we looked at how Michael Saylor explained Bitcoin's logical next step was to do a 10x followed by another 10x. Now, if that wasn't enough of an extreme price target for you, this video we're going to take things a step further and be breaking down a presentation just given by Michael Saylor, and it explains how Bitcoin's full potential could be, wait for it, a 500 times increase. Now, like many of you watching, whenever I first see ridiculous price targets of 100x or 500x, my initial gut instinct is bullshit. However, when it's backed by data and evidence, well, things get a lot more interesting. So, without further ado, here are the slides of a presentation just given by Michael Saylor, and it's the reasoning behind the eye-watering potential of a 500x for Bitcoin. And so the big idea, or the premise, if you will, was built around inflation. And many of you will have seen this graphic before, but it shows the last 100 years of the purchasing power of the dollar. And basically, long story short, if you're just holding cash, then your cash is getting withered away by inflation. And inflation, think about it like a hidden stealth tax. It's a tax on the nation, which is taken in a very subtle way. And this was the premise of his whole piece. Then the next slide was all about, okay, so you have to invest your money. Where do you invest? And if you measure it against the true inflation rate, then nothing really beats inflation. So here we've got commodities, we've got cash, we've got the actual inflation rate. This is what the average investor actually gets, under 3%, which is a little bit shocking. And we've got bonds, we've got the 60-40 portfolio, whether you're just in stocks, small caps, and the best thing on here was REITs. And this is real estate investment trusts. And is basically saying that the actual inflation rate is here, so nearly everything underperforms. Now, this was a chart showing the difference between traders and investors. And if you didn't know, Michael Saylor doesn't really like traders. He is, like many of the most successful investors of all time, a buy and hold investor. Nowadays, we call them hodlers. And here he's saying, look, nothing really happens 99% of the time. You've just got to hold. Don't get bored, don't get frustrated, don't get FOMO, and be buying and selling on a regular basis. And this was a chart showing that if you were just fully invested, you're going to beat people who try and trade and miss the best days. Now, this isn't the most easiest to see, but basically it's something like this. So this is the S&P 500, the average returns from 1993 to 2022. And if you just stayed fully invested, then the growth of $10,000 becomes $158,000. Now, if you missed the 10 best days, then you would have took a 54% hit. If you missed the best 20 days, 73, missed the best 30 days, and you've completely crushed your portfolio. And it's something I've mentioned on this channel before. One of the biggest things that can wreck your portfolio is you. And then interestingly, I found this as well from the same article. And this basically says of the best 50 days, half of them were during bear markets. So that's very interesting. We always think that it's the bull markets where everything's going crazy, where everyone's jumping in, that you get the best returns. But no, most of the best days come in bear markets. So don't get scared, don't get fearful, and sell out. Then he moves to the case of why Bitcoin. And essentially, We now know that cash is just getting crushed over time. Two of the most popular investments are the stock market and gold. And he's basically saying, even though the price is going up, so it makes you feel like you're making money, when you factor in inflation, you're actually just keeping pace. So you're not actually getting richer. Your stocks are going up in value, but then what that money buys is exactly the same. And the one thing that is going to outpace inflation is Bitcoin. And this was an example over the long term. This is a 100-year outlook, and this is 2023 to 2123, so 100 years. And if you had $1 million in cash, you would get crushed down to $977. $1 million in bonds, pretty bad. $1 million in the S&P. Although the S&P has gone up significantly, your purchasing power would be about the same. Then mix stocks with Bitcoin, you're going to do a lot better. And his whole idea is that why would you invest in anything else, showing your true purchasing power has gone up 1000x. So how is Bitcoin potentially going to do a 500 times increase? So this is a great visual of the global asset values, and this adds up to the tune of 900 trillion. So this is global money. You can see global bonds is a huge market, global real estate, massive market, equities, 100 trillion plus, pretty big. Now I can't quite read this one. I think it's commodities. We've got the art market, the gold market, and this little box here is the current valuation of Bitcoin. And when viewed like this is why he's saying the logical next step is a 10x and then 10x again. As you can see, Bitcoin does have a lot of room to grow. And then finally, shown another way, Bitcoin's full potential, which he's saying is a 200 trillion addressable market. And he's saying Bitcoin will first absorb gold and then all of the store of value assets. So for Bitcoin to take out gold, you'd be looking at a 30x. And then this is it. For Bitcoin to realize its full potential would be a 500 times increase. And in summary, no country can stop inflation. He says 99% of companies do not outrun inflation. 99% of people do not outrun inflation. In fact, statistics show that only 1% actually beat the market by any level of skill or luck, but everyone can buy Bitcoin. So there you are, guys. That was Bitcoin's fully addressable market of 200 trillion, and it's by taking the lion's share of the store of value assets. Now, just to finish up with a bit of perspective, do I personally think Bitcoin will do a 500x? No. But if you think about it, what's the alternative? How long will it take for the stock market to be 5 times or 10 times the size it is today? It would take decades, right? And on the flip side, now with a 500x as an extreme example, now many of the top cryptos doing a 5x or 10x in the next few years becomes very realistic, right? And for me, that's what makes crypto such an exciting proposition right now. And it's the reason companies like BlackRock and Fidelity and Charles Schwab and many others just this week are all fighting to get involved. In fact, just wait for this week's bull market news dropping in 2 days, as the developments and news that have happened this week alone have been ridiculous. Okay, and for now, just to say, if you did enjoy anything in the video, then drop a like, and a big thank you to everyone who does, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.